updated with the latest news, views, and interviews.
News, views, and interviews
from around the world.
This is the Top 5.
Top 5. Top 5. Top 5.
Are you fed up of your mask or your foggy face shield? Introducing the Fashion Shield from callallpronow.com. Keep your hairdo intact, your makeup flawless, and be fully protected. Get the Fashion Shield now. Call 516-387-4246 or visit callallpronow.com.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Top 5 at 5. We have a lot of people who are joining our show today. I'd like everybody to like and share. This is a very timely program. There's a lot that happened this week, but we could only have space to talk about the things that are most pressing. So we are going to be mentioning Earl Simmons, the passing of the Prince, and our main topic today is to focus all about St. Vincent and all about the volcano. This has been something that has been on our minds, keeping me nervous, keeping my family nervous. It's something that is so relevant to all of us in the Eastern Caribbean and the world at large. So we really need to dive in to figure out how we can help to address the issues that are going on there. So, ladies, how are you doing this weekend?
I am doing fine. I'm here from Toronto, and we are in lockdown right now. Our COVID numbers are going up significantly. And so everybody's trying to stay safe, social distance, and get vaccinated. That's the top news for where I am right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How are your numbers? Is it dramatic? Like, is it something that, what's the difference between then and now?
Yeah.
Well, about 3 weeks ago, we were around maybe 400 cases a day. We're now up to 4,000 cases a day.
What?
So
How did that happen?
ICUs, well, we opened up a little bit early against medical advice, and people started opening up restaurants and having people eating at outside establishments. People were going to the malls doing their shopping, lots and lots of lineups. People were acting like this thing had actually gone. And unfortunately, the numbers continued to just rise significantly right after the opening. So they've had to, just do a total reverse and just shut down everything. So schools are shut down for 2 weeks. All the restaurants are closed, and it's only essential shopping only at this time.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I think the biggest thing is the variants at this point. The variants have been like from the UK, and it's not just the regular coronavirus now, but I mean, Julianne Latham knows more about that.
So right now we have 3 variants: the Brazilian, South African, and the UK. And the difference is in the severity of illness, and it's now affecting people between 30 to 60 years old, because most of our seniors have been vaccinated in Ontario. So now it's affecting the younger group. So we're all being as vigilant as we can, and just trying to play it safe. And it's so important, especially in the Caribbean community, to advocate for them to get the vaccines.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. So before we get on to what's happening in St. Vincent, because I know that everybody's rather anxious to understand and to get some clarity on the events that have taken place since Friday, I would just like to say that Friday, I could call it Freaky Friday. I could call it the worst Friday. A lot of things happened this Friday. So one of the things that went down this Friday is that DMX passed away in White Plains, New York. They said he died of a heart attack, I believe. He died at 50 years old. He is from Mount Vernon, New York. He left a great mark on the world. His music has touched me. I grew up in the 80s, 90s. His hip hop was tough and rough and everything that you would think of when you think about hip hop. He embodied it all the way, and he had a lot of struggles in life. You know, he was abused as a youngster. He was abandoned by a lot of people, and he was running the streets very early and doing a lot of things that a 14-year-old shouldn't be doing. And I saw a video, and it was very unfortunate to see that someone that he trusted and he looked up as a big brother or even as a father, who was 30 years old, introduced him to crack. And from that point onwards, it was a constant battle. He battled. But all I'd like to say about DMX, because we're not going to belabor this, is the fact that despite all his struggles, he fought and he made a mark. And that's just to say that nobody, once you have breath and you have life, there's so much you could do despite your problems. He tried his best to do what he could. He left 15 beautiful children behind, 15. And you know, I wish him to rest in peace, and our condolences go out from the top 5.
Yeah, thank you for that, Landy.
Yes, yes.
I mean, even some of the what's it called? Like the way that they kind of characterized it, I thought was kind of crazy because like some of the first pieces of like the news when it dropped, right? Like it dropped that DMX passed, and immediately they were like, oh, you know, it's because of the cocaine. And, you know, even like an article that was like totally unrelated to him passing away was like, yeah, his baby moms and his 15 children. Like it was just really interesting the way they chose to characterize it. But I don't know if you guys noticed that or whatever. But I mean, there's also rumors going around that it wasn't necessarily just a heart attack. It was actually something related to coronavirus and the vaccine that he took so that he could travel and do these shows. So I don't know, just wanted to put it out there. A lot of people are passing away because of this after vaccines. So there's a lot of what do you call it there? A lot of talk that the vaccine is causing health issues and not necessarily helping them. So,
you know, I just I'm gonna say something real quick and then we can move on. But you know, there's not a lot of people passing away from the vaccine. It's people taking a little percentage of people and making it a big deal. But secondly, on going back on the DMX issue and how they kind of characterize him, they do this to many, especially of our Black males. Everyone has a struggle, and there's a lot of white males that died as well as very young artists from drug addiction. But you never see them. They might say something really quick, but you don't see them demonize them as much as a lot of our Black males. So, you know, yes, he had his struggles. Yes, he was a believer, you know, but who is perfect?
Exactly.
No one. But that's all I wanted to say.
I see Kibby Graham is saying he was tough and his music was real as it could get. This is one of the things that I loved about DMX. He came with his anger and he came with his rage and he put it into music, and the music had beats and they would just stick in your mind, and you'd hear that beat and you just rejoice when you hear it. His music was very angry, but it was very meaningful and powerful. And, you know, I think this is a time to celebrate him, support his music as much as we can, because any dime that we give towards DMX is going to give towards his children. So, you know, just I continue to think of him as having a positive impact in the music industry and making his mark really known.
Yes,
exactly.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So another death happened on Friday also, and this was the death of Prince Philip, who was married to the Queen. He died at 99 years old. I don't really have much love for the royals. It's not my forte.
I second that.
Well, because there's a lot of things that swirled around him, that he was rather ignorant and very sexist and racist in his comments. And he was also a womanizer. And plus, he didn't really do much. He laid back on taxpayers' money and raped all the different countries so that they could sit and live pretty. So that's my take on the royal.
That's nothing new. You know, my condolences to them, but with their history and so-called legacy, it has nothing to do with me, other than I know that, you know, as my family is from the Caribbean and my ancestors had to suffer out under their hand, and they're the ones who started everything when it comes to segregation, racism, and slavery. They are the ones, and the reason why they are so, and colonialism, and the reason why they have that much money is because they have used free labor from a lot of my people and also your people's blood. So to me, I could care less about them. That's how I feel. I always felt. I find it very weird where a lot of people of color are very in awe of them when they forget the history, don't understand why they are that way, and then are shocked when certain news comes about racism and colorism. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Like, girl, bye, boy, bye. We know this already. So condolences to them, but he was 99 years old. Okay, so he had a long life.
He did have a long life. Very, very true.
So I have to say something because I am a British subject. I was born in England, so I grew up with developing a love for the royal family. But again, with age and time comes better understanding. So learning all about slavery and the system of colonialism and what Landy said, it has changed my mind towards them. And I'm very much for them, Black repatriation and giving people what they're owed. And, so I feel it for the Queen. That was her lifelong partner for more than 70 years. And marriages do not usually last that long. So my heart goes out to her. And I hope that they can have some peace in his passing and not rip the man to shreds. He's already dead. He can't undo his life. And nobody's perfect. But as a whole organization, I think the monarchy is probably on its last legs. Seriously.
I mean, I'm kind of with Victoria. I'm with Victoria. Like, I don't really care, to be honest. I mean, may his soul rest in peace. Poor man. I don't wish death on anybody. But at the end of the day, he wasn't a nice man. Like, he just wasn't. And, it seems like after the tell-all on Oprah with Meghan and Harry, Meghan made it pretty clear in Harry that there were people within the monarchy that were very disgusting towards Black people. And so they didn't name names. But the fact that she's not attending his funeral, to me, like, if it looks like a chicken, it sounds like a chicken, it's probably a chicken, or whatever the way that saying goes. But you know what I mean? Yes. Like, I don't think he was a very nice man. Like, I just don't.
And guess what? And that's not new, right? That is not right. Being talked about. This is who they are. I don't understand why is it such a like, oh my gosh, wow, I can't believe it. No, this is who they are. I sorry, but I'm really disgusted by them. I always have been, because I've always been a history nut. That's how I've been growing up. I love to read books. I love to dig into history, and to know that these people has done a lot of evil on this earth, and then our people are here praising them. It's mind-boggling. It's kind of like mind control in a way. Right? They're able to erase their past so easily and paint a picture of to be like humanitarian and all this other crap, right? And they always go into our countries and prance around like with their high horse. So to me, yes, I don't wish death on anyone. Death is a horrible thing for anybody, no matter how bad the person is or how good the person is. But at the end of the day, whatever. And Meghan knew what she was coming into. I'm sorry.
But you did see how silent social media. See how silent social media was about it, though, right? I didn't see anything. Like, honestly, the only thing I heard was like, half mass here in Canada, because like we're a Commonwealth country, so it is what it is. And those who grew up under his rule would have a special relationship to the monarchy, and having it like shoved down your throat the way you have like all like other pieces of nationalism shoved down your throat. But social media was very quiet. I'll just leave it at that. Like, no one really said much.
Well, I just want to give a shout out to our audience. We have Ronisha Griffith. Good night. We have Kibby Graham, Mavis. We have Maurice. Everybody out there, thank you for hanging in with the show. We're about to switch things up. We no longer want to belabor this because everybody wants to know what's happening in St. Vincent. So let me just lay out a little bit of the background. So on Friday, I found out on the news that the La Soufrière had erupted, and there was forced evacuation that started, I believe, it was supposed to begin on Thursday. And we were watching videos. Everybody was posting from Facebook different pieces that were coming out, and a lot of people were sent to shelters. The people who were living in that area of the island, some of them were sent to shelters on other sides of the island. And there were other people who actually left the island and have gone off to St. Lucia, Grenada, and Barbados for safety. It's been a very, very, things are just changing so quickly over the last couple of days. And we have a lot to cover. COVID is still a major issue along with this volcano. So we have a video right now that we would like to show you. And I think it's playing right now. It's a video that is showing footage of the ash that has basically laid a blanket all over the island. So yes, the volcano happened on one part of the area, which is close to Sandy Bay, Fancy, Oia, that part of the island. But you know, the island is still a small island. So whatever happens in one place is going to affect the other areas also. So we're going to be talking about that. And right now we're going to be bringing in Wayne. Wayne is, he was staying mostly in the Oia area, and he's here to kind of talk and give us his story, because he was absolutely boots on the ground, helping to do as much as he could to remove people and bring them to safe areas. So Wayne, welcome to the Top 5, and thank you for being on the show today.
Hey, yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Hi.
Yes. So if you could tell us, if you could just tell us what is, just walk us through quickly where things were as of Friday and how things are today on Sunday.
So as of Friday, like I said, the explosion happened around, I was about around 8:40. You know, woke up, seemed normal as day. No signs or anything, no alarms, nothing that this was about to happen. And yeah, it just went bang. People who stayed, so like there are people who chose to stay back in the red zone, thinking that they can just tough it out. And there were people who had no choice, because it's quite a rural area. And from the time the order was given to evacuate on the Thursday, like I said, there was no sort of government transport that was promised to pick up the people. Nothing came. So there was still quite a lot of people left in the area. When it went off, a lot of people managed to escape. Let's say escape. It's, you know, but yeah, a lot of people managed to get out, including myself. Yeah, we went via sea and we came down to the areas that they had put up as a green zone, which would have been Calico. And yeah, from that bang to today, it hasn't stopped. It just kept rumbling and it's still going. Every single area in St. Vincent got affected by some sort of ash. Everywhere got covered. It's kind of hard to say that we even actually have a safe zone anymore.
Right.
Yeah, it's still going as we speak. I live I'm staying in the area now where is the orange zone, and you can literally hear it like it's just over the next hill. So anyway, within that time, so like I said, it went off the Friday. The Saturday, we were getting calls that a lot of people were trapped and they couldn't get out because roads had fallen in, rocks had came down and blocked off certain areas. So myself and 4 other guys, you know, some people might say brave, some might say stupid, but
We'll
it's
say
one
brave.
thing when you got love for people. We chose to head back up that side and evacuate some of the people who actually wanted to leave. With the help of a few other vessels and the Coast Guard, we managed to get another further 60 or 70 people out.
Okay. So wait, let
And
me ask you this.
sorry. Yeah. Mm.
Let me ask you this. Tell me how were you dressed? Because if you're going outside in this atmosphere with sulfuric pieces and particles in the air, tell me how did you prepare for that? To be
Well,
out there running back and
they,
forth.
like I said, it started off as a normal day, like when it went off. So it would have been like shorts and t-shirt to begin with.
Okay.
When obviously when we were trying to like, help with evacuation and stuff like that, we used what we had. You took a t-shirt, cover your face, and you wore something to cover your eyes as much as you could.
Right.
There wasn't anything given or handed out. I've got a friend whose kids are in a shelter. He's staying here with me, and like up until like yesterday morning, we got there. They were still sleeping on a sheet on a concrete floor in some of these shelters.
Oh my goodness.
No mattresses. It was crazy. It was ridiculous, honestly.
So my
So
question
nothing
to
was.
you, Wayne, what can we do to help? I see Nicole is feeling it in the heart like I am. And what can we do to support? Has anything been set up where we can send some money or?
It's one of these things where, like I personally don't donate to charities because I often wonder, do the people who really need it, are they going to get it? That's often my biggest question. So I've got quite a few friends living in England and in the US who've I did a Facebook post saying like, if anyone want to contribute, because like right at the moment, there's still canned foods on the shelves and stuff like that, but the water situation is getting really bad. That's probably what's major. So like obviously a lot of my friends seen what I've been doing and stuff like that, and they've said the same thing, like like rather than giving it to these charities that they have here and everything else, can we send the money directly to you? So tomorrow I'm collecting some of that. I'll be going around and trying to get some water to distribute around and stuff like that. But I like I said, I'm not one for charity, so I'm not sure like who runs with anything like that around here. I'm sure there is, but because I'm not into it, it's really hard to say. I know NEMO, who is the national emergency, they probably deal with all the distribution of food and everything that comes in. So
yes, I have a relative who's working with NEMO right now, and he was out all day. I have a cousin, Brad Latham. He's a supervisor for the Ministry of Forestry, and he's out there. He was doing that all day. We had asked him to come on the show, but he said he's really too busy to speak because he's really, really invested in making sure that they can do all they can to get things out as quickly as possible. So for the people who are watching the show, I'd like to tell you that Ridealong, our parent program, they have decided that they are going to be running a fundraising event, I believe, early this week, possibly even tomorrow. So keep on watching Ridealong. Look out for Facebook posts and things like that to tell you as to how this is going to go. There should be a really good show coming up tomorrow on Ridealong that will address ways in which we can give and be sure that what we are giving is actually reaching to the people that actually need it. That is the key thing here. So I'd actually like to bring Junior George in so that he can talk about a bit more about this whole event, because he usually watches and follows all of these things very carefully. Hi, Junior.
Hey, how you guys doing? And I gotta big up the folks that's watching over there. I see some of my fans from the Ride Along program, which I think that you guys are taking a lot of my viewers over on Top 5, and I'm proud by that. I'm kind of.
That's okay.
It's all good. It's all good. So hi everybody, how you doing? Wayne, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Lavinia, I see you. How you doing, Lavinia?
Hi, I'm good. How you doing, Junior George?
I'm great. I see Julie and Victoria. Everybody doing well. And I gotta say, I have to applaud the top five because you guys taking on this very, very important issue and talking about this important issue, because we need to escalate every single conversation on what's happening in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, right? Everyone, we want to send all the attention towards St. Vincent and the Grenadines right now. Now, you mentioned earlier about what we're planning to do, right? But all these things, it's not possible without the assistance of people like Wayne and other folks on the ground, right? So we wanna say thanks to that. And before I say what we're gonna do, I also want Wayne to talk about in extensive version. Hold on a second. I just had
Okay.
to sneeze.
Bless you.
Bless you.
I just had to sneeze again. Yes, Wayne, I want you to talk to us, right? In the extended version, how you were able to leave your confinement and go back and help people. Talk about that. That was a big
Like,
one. Let's talk about that because that is more heroic than a lot of things I've seen a lot of people do.
Yeah.
So speak a little bit about that, Wayne.
like I mentioned to the ladies earlier. Some might call it brave, some would say stupid. Um, but man, listen, when you got real love, like love for your people, I mean, Ovia is only a little village, and it's like everyone is almost related one way or the next. Everyone's like really close. It's like like when we left, like we were thinking like, yo, that guy who's still there, that's my uncle, that's my cousin. So like, it wasn't like even up for discussion, like whether we're gonna go back and help. None of that kind of stuff.
So weren't you
We
scared?
listen, I'll be totally honest with you. At
Mhm.
first, no, but like so basically how it happened. We started off from Calico. Yeah, this was yesterday. Obviously, like it was still pretty dark from the ash and clouds and everything like that. And as we were going up, I'm not sure. Obviously, Junior, I'm not sure you're familiar with St. Vincent, but when you got to the area of what they call Connery, that's about halfway of the journey. Um, that's when it really started to get like dark. So we were using the lights, the street lights that were on because we know the waters quite well. So we were using the lights of the water, you know, and it came to a point where we couldn't see anything. The electricity had gone out and it was pitch black. And like, yeah, it kind of hit home there, like, damn, like, but
This is
like,
serious.
yeah, but that just went to the back and yeah, we pressed on. The Coast Guards came in. And like I said, we got about 60, 70 people out yesterday. Sorry, I'm getting a call. Let me just
Yeah,
decline that.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Okay.
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 When a call comes in, it just cuts out my volume. So I'm not sure if you guys can hear me.
Yeah, we could hear you.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
I wanted to ask
Give
you.
me
Wait.
1 second, okay? Anytime a call comes in,
Yeah,
it just cuts out my volume for some reason.
yeah. It will
So
come back. It will come back. We noticed
I'll
that a
I'll
while.
do it when I finish talking anyway. But
Right.
yeah. So we got to the area of what like they call Connery, and all the lights were gone. Couldn't see anything. We pressed on, and in the end, we managed to get another 60, 70 people are out. They're in the shelter now. They're doing well. From young as about 20 up to about probably 70, 75-year-olds. So that was yesterday. We came back, thinking like it was all good, only to realize there were still more people who were stuck there.
Oh my gosh.
And it was a lot clearer today. So we thought like, hey, listen, it's got to be done. So same set of guys, we went out again, and we actually went to the area of here this time, like the roads. There must have been about 6 to 7 inches of debris that was just on the roads, and it was packed. It looked like something from a horror movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, all the trees were like, broken down from the weight of the ash and stuff like that. House roofs had caved in.
Oh my gosh.
It was crazy. So like we turned up there, and yeah, there was still about 15, 20 guys. Yeah, just there who decided that, like, we
That's
don't
a
really
really
want to
bad
move.
situation.
So I
Yeah,
had to,
like
like,
I guess
are you guys
I
crazy?
guess a very interesting question to ask at this point.
Listen, Junior, if you're gonna talk, I might have to like restart my
Okay, restart.
my stream. Okay,
Okay, restart and
give me
come
like
back.
1 second.
Okay, no problem.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. So let him go ahead.
Here's the question, right? Here's a very important question I want you guys to consider and think about, right? Here we have a situation where we have imminent danger, right? Imminent danger. People were aware that this volcano is coming down. What prevented them from going to the shelters? And that is the question a lot of people keep asking. So I pose that question to some authorities, and here's one of the reasons that I'm getting. Here's one of the feedbacks that I'm getting. When could I address it later? But listen to this video. Listen to this video right here. Listen to this.
Evacuation center. You will also be vaccinated. This is not a drill, and it is not voluntary. There's a pandemic that is taking place, and we'll be vaccinating persons once they enter a government-operated shelter. And I want that to be very clear to persons as well for listening this live.
Wayne, I want you to speak to that. I want you to speak to that. What are one of the reasons why you think a lot of people decided not to go out to shelters?
Obviously, I'm not sure if the ladies there, they're familiar with who that guy is. So this guy is actually an MP. He ran for one of the seats down North Leeward or South Leeward, somewhere down that side. And yeah, he won by 1 vote. So, so like people are trying to get out of their homes to get somewhere safe. And there's this man who's trying to force the issue of getting vaccinated. And I'll say this, that it's like a major thing in St. Vincent where a lot of people don't trust the vaccine. So that didn't make things easy at all. Like when it came to like people decided if I'm going to go to a shelter or not. That was crazy. It really was. It really was.
So
And
one of the-
a few cruise ships came in to help. I think from probably Royal Caribbean, and they were trying to push the issue that in order for you to get on board one of the cruise ships, you got to be vaccinated. Only for one of the officials from the cruise line company to come on and say, no, that's not the case. We never said that. So
that's insane.
So is it a
crazy.
rumor or is it true?
No, it's real.
Oh, it is
It's
real.
real.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. They had shelters where they had actually set up camps going around, telling people they need to be vaccinated.
Is that camps? Is that shelters within the island? Because I have heard that the other companies. Oh, within the island too.
Yeah, that's within St. Vincent. Yeah. I've got friends, who I catch up with yesterday, who said like nurses were coming up to them and said like, "Are you vaccinated? You need to be vaccinated." So yeah, it's absurd, really.
Yeah, that's very shocking and upsetting because I know here in Canada, amongst the people who I know, family members, friends, colleagues alike, there's quite a debate on whether or not this vaccine is even safe. And I know Victoria kind of mentioned that it is safe. Numbers are out of this world about who's dying and who's not. But the fact of the matter remains, people are afraid. And like, when I first heard it, I was like, okay, there's a volcano. What does that have to do with vaccinations? Like, I get it. Like, you have a bunch of people that are potentially going to be in a very tight space together. But at the same time, like, there's a volcano erupting. Like, people need to move. People need to get out. Like, why would people stay on the island? Yeah.
Not to cut you off. Sorry. So, like I said, Obia is like a really, like tight-knit community, really is. So like everyone there is, we had a few cases just about a week, 2 weeks ago, where like one family, they contracted the virus on one of the kids who had gone to the hospital. So they were on lockdown, a family of 9 or 10, and there were other people in the community. So the thing is now, they have isolated them, but when it was time to like evacuate some, no one seemed to care. Everyone were jumping on buses and going about their business. No one came around to say, well, this family has COVID, so we need to evacuate them and put them separately. Apparently, they went into shelters where people who had tested negative were staying. So, stuff like that, it really makes you think like,
I'm not an anti-vaxxer, and you guys are nurse. I see, well, Landy and also Julie. So you guys could kind of speak to this, right? I'm not an anti-vaxxer. In fact, I had the vaccine. I have no problem with the vaccine. But I think when you add that level of anxiety, it make people feel like they're apprehensive about it. Like, why are you forcing the situation? And how this guy said it, and how he said it is a problem. He said, when you come into this facility, you're gonna get vaccinated. What about people who have other comorbidities, like people that have like allergies, or people who probably have the virus in the system? What are being done? He didn't say it in a way that to like, okay, well, we are requesting that you take the vaccine, or try to educate people as to why they should take the vaccine. So he gone past the educational phase, and they're saying it's mandatory. You're going to get the vaccine as you come into the facility. And how he said it is scaring people. And I could play it again, guys. I could play it again. But how the whole thing, how he said the whole
Evacuation center. You will also be vaccinated. This is not a drill, and it is not voluntary. There's a pandemic that is taking place, and we'll be vaccinating persons once they enter a government-operated shelter. And I want that to be very clear to persons as well.
That is driving the anxiety.
So I would like to say something. Number one, they need to really look at their emergency management. This will scare a lot of people off from going into one of the government-regulated shelters. Right now, they need to make the priority the people. Give them proper masks, teach them about social distancing, and stay within a bubble of people as much as you can. But forcing the vaccine on them at this point in time, I think, they're in the state of panic as it is right now. Supposing they vaccinate somebody and somebody has an allergic reaction to it. I'm not wishing that upon anybody, but to present this to them at this time, this is not the time. We know the urgency is there, but the urgency is to get the people off the island as safely as possible. And for those who remain, get them the resources that they need. I don't even know if they have power and lights and electricity down there. This is something. Don't. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so as I was saying earlier, so today we managed to get back into Oya, because it's, well, that's our hope that it's subsided. It's not as dark or hazy as before. So we managed to get in, and as we got there were still, I would say, probably like 20 odd people, because we managed to evacuate about another 15 out today. We had 2 boats, and we moved as many people as we can. We took some food up for the ones who wanted to stay for whatever reasons they had. Some bread and whatever we could have got hold of, and we left that with them. Why they choose to stay, I honestly couldn't answer that. But yeah, it's crazy. Our election was November the 5th last year, in the heat of the pandemic. But they were having campaign rallies of about 5,000 plus people, like jammed in like one, like a little stadium or park. So I don't understand now all of a sudden COVID is a problem.
I see in the comments, there's a lot of comments about people have the free will to do what they want with their body. Cherry Patterson says, your body, your choice. There's a couple of other people who I said the same thing, Mavis Joseph, and people who haven't talked to their doctor yet about their health. So I am a lawyer here in Canada, and we have something called fundamental rights and freedoms that generally each nation, each country, St. Vincent is a Commonwealth country, they have fundamental rights and freedoms too. And one of those rights and freedoms is to be free, the rights to life, liberty, and security of the person. So no unreasonable law that could potentially harm your physical safety. Now, I'm not an anti-vacciner. I'm not by any means. I mean, everybody's decision is their decision, but I do personally take issue with the government coming in and telling people that they must take this vaccine, because it's like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like, there's this erupting volcano, and then there's this potentially disastrous vaccine. Like, people are afraid, rightfully so. And I just don't think the government has a place in forcing people to take vaccines. I just don't. Like, I think that's a liberty issue. I think that's a legal issue. And I think that we don't know enough about this to be forcing anybody to make a call between dying by a volcano or having serious adverse health effects because of this vaccine.
Okay, I would just like to add that I know Julie had mentioned that, that we should be looking at the fact that we should be doing social distancing and all of these things. I don't really know. St. Vincent's a small island, and these tragedies have not happened very frequently. The first time that I'm aware of there being an eruption of the volcano was in 1902 and then 1979. And now here in 2021, this massive, strange event is happening right now. So I can understand the person who was speaking there and who was delivering that information. I think his delivery was very poor because it just added to the anxiety that everybody was feeling. I do feel that he could have delivered that message a little bit better. And maybe if he delivered it a little bit better. But at this point in time, I don't even know if that's even a priority because people just want to live. I do.
And that guy's a lawyer, by the way. Yeah?
He's a lawyer.
Yes,
that's even more wonderful.
Very interesting.
So my friend there, I'm sure you might have 2 words to say to him.
Right. Is that Brad I see on there? Has Brad joined us?
Bradford.
Yes,
Hi,
yes, this is Bradford here. Hi, everyone.
Hi, how are you doing, my friend?
So let me just introduce Bradford. Bradford is a cousin of mine. He's a supervisor for the Ministry of Forestry in St. Vincent, and he's been busy all day delivering supplies and trying to help animals and help people in any which way he can. So I'd like you to speak also, Bradford.
Yeah, Bradford, what is the situation right now on the ground in the field as of today? What's the latest?
Well, regarding distribution of food, I was out assisting the National Disaster NEMO, the management organization in the distribution of food. The issue with regarding water supply, drinkable water, yes, they have, but because the water is off for the flushing of toilet and things like those, they don't have that. The tanks are not in place. They have the water tanks, but there's some shortage in terms of fittings for some of the water tanks. But some areas they have tanks in place, everything going, but there's few of the areas there is that problem. We're doing assessment with the wildlife. We're getting support to help feed the parrots that we have at the Nichols Wildlife Complex. So we got some food from Graham Hall in Barbados. So we just cleared them today. So those are things that we need to assist in terms of protecting the wildlife. We have to get out there to make sure, see if there are any that are ill, that we have to try and get them in and try feed them and things like that. So there'll be, in the near future, we have to be looking at the wildlife and different agriculture animals. Those we are trying to corral and get them feed and everything like that.
Right.
What would you say the effect is going to be on animals and livestock and food supply?
It will be very bad. The ash, it's gonna have a lot of impact in terms of the food that they're gonna consume. This ash is very metallic. It's magnetic, so it will have impact on the animals that chew the cud. When they grind, it's gonna grind down the teeth. Um, so the food source that will be greatly impact on. However, we are right now we getting some rains. I'm up at the Belmont lookout on my way home, and this is good for us to be able to wash off without the fruits and things like that. And but it is not really going anywhere as much because it's very heavy.
Right.
Mhm.
We're speaking about the wildlife, and which is very, very important, right? I want to butt in and ask a question as it relates to human life and what the ash could potentially do to the human body if consuming such high quantity. Could you speak to that?
No, I can't say much to that regarding the what we have been warned about. It's not healthy. If regarding consuming, but breathing it in is where we have been cautioned about mostly than consuming it.
What? No, when I say consume, sorry, I don't mean eating it. I mean breathing it. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, the impact it will have on the wildlife. Your question still relevant that the animals that eat the grass are now covered with the ash. And when
Yes.
they chew their cud and everything like that, it will have impact on their teeth. And they also those that carry a grinding pad. Um, that will have impact on that of the animal. Um,
Mhm.
and their grazing habits. So some of them may starve as a result.
Right. I have another question in regards to driving conditions. So it's been raining. I was listening this morning to Mr. Ralph Gonzalez, a comrade. He was on the radio this morning and he was talking about the fact that it was raining and the rain is good to help kind of wash things off. But with the sulfuric material that has come down, it could create like a very slippery surface. So what are driving conditions like and are the roads pretty much bare?
Yes, with the rains, it gets slippery and you have to take caution while driving on it. With the rain, it is much healthier. You kind of reduce the amount of dust and wash it in the drain and get them off the road. We welcome the rain, but while driving during the rain, you have to take caution. As you said, it gets slippery. It do get
Mhm.
slippery because it's very fine.
I have a question, Mr. Latham. So with the I heard that when the rain comes down, and there's a lot of misinformation out there, so I don't wish to spread it, and I hope that that's not what's happening here. But I heard that when the water comes down, it kind of solidifies the dust and it turns into almost like a cement. Like there's even a video circulating where someone's trying to cut through the cement and it's almost like a brick. Like it's very, very like it's spongy, like and hard. Like it's what's your thoughts on that?
Yes, I was doing some cleaning in a little brick I have. It gets while it is wet and the water inside of it get compact and it's very difficult to remove. When it dry out, if you rub it a bit, it loosens back up easily. But if you leave it there over a period of time, it comes like cement indeed. It will stay there within the crevices, on the wall and things like that. So it compacts when it gets wet, and it's also getting much heavier because one of the problem I'm getting, like the guttering around homes, it's when it's wet, it's already start breaking it off.
Oh my gosh.
So I just wanted to share something with you. I think it's absolutely amazing having you there to look after the wildlife and what have you. And this is going to have a tremendous social impact. Not only, well, the people of St. Vincent, my heart is going out to you.
Yes.
Anything that's affecting the animals is going to be affecting the people also. At the end of
Indeed.
it, we're all living organisms, and what affects the animals will affect the people also. So the same way, most people in St. Vincent, they live off the land. They're known as the breadbasket of the Caribbean. So that is where a lot of source of food from the other islands come from. It's affecting the whole Caribbean. They're seeing soot falling down in Grenada and in Barbados also, and rocks being tossed all over the place. The most important thing right now is the people. The people who are stuck in areas who are not going to have water and food available. We want to know how are we going to send out rescue crews to the people to get them the support that they need. Wayne, it's like you also need to be working with forestry to go through safely through spaces that you need to get, because maybe forestry can provide you with the equipment that you need to go through.
Yeah.
The people have to come first. This is really hurting my heart. I sat down and watched my father cry, and he talked about it. And we really feel helpless. And so if there's anything we can do, let's get together and organize something where the money is going straight to the people of St. Vincent. I don't want one of these emergency people from outside to come in and take their cut and what have you. It has to go straight to the people. I want it in food. I want it in water. I want it in medicine. This is a double impact. You got the pandemic and you got the volcano going off. Your priority is going to have to be the people of St. Vincent.
Yes.
And immediately, go ahead, Mr. Latham.
Yes, you're correct, Julian. The priority is the people. The team will work in force in terms of securing food, all the necessary resources for the people, and at the same time, we're not forgetting, especially the cage animals we do have. But the priority here is to make sure that we have supplying food and all the necessary supplies for making them comfort and life for the people of St. Vincent and Grenadines. So you're correct. That's what we have to aim.
Yeah, and you said something earlier as well, Juliana, and where you said about the Caribbean affected. Now, this is not only a St. Vincent issue, right? It never was a St. Vincent issue because they're probably not a volcano in Barbados, but the volcano in St. Vincent, because a part of the Caribbean, is affecting Barbados. And one of the other things that people not really looking at how it affects the whole Caribbean region is through travel, because Liat and all those airlines can be transversing between islands because of the amount of ash that still remains. Or if they do, there will have to be, I don't know if there's some kind of diversion, because this could also affect air travel in major ways, which complicate the whole issue of more. So how are things coming into St. Vincent? Are all the ports closed? How could we send barrels? How could we get stuff done?
Well, that's a good question. Where I just got our stuff from, it was off a boat that was chartered in Barbados, and the guy brought in them for free for us, and he also just brought in some volunteers from the OAS and everything like that. So the airport is closed, and things are coming in on boats right now.
I just want to call out some of our audience. Cherry Patterson says, yes, the people first. Miranda Thompson said, being in a foreign country, it's hard for me as a Vincentian. I lived through 1979 and I have heard this is worse. It is very, very stressful.
Yeah.
So yes, we're all feeling this.
And also, if you want, you can open up the phone lines, because I know a lot of people may have some additional questions that they may want to ask either Wayne or Mr. Latham here. So the number that anyone could call is right there on the screen, 718-701-5720. And while we're waiting on that, let me just say that tomorrow, guys, we will be doing a fundraiser. And Julie spoke about it, that oftentimes when you do fundraisers, you see in some of the NGOs, 20% of all the funds collected goes towards the actual charity, and 70% goes to administration. This is not going to happen right here. We're teaming up with even with Wayne. I mean, people on the ground that we're going to be sending out items directly to them and make sure it gets to the people in need. Oftentimes, people say, well, when you team up with government agencies on the ground, then it's dispersed to political realm, and I mean, I don't want to say that that's going to happen. But we want to make sure that the people who in need, the women and children, those in shelters, get those items like water. And someone reached out for toys for the kids, because we have to also protect their sanity. A lot of them are there. They're left with a bag on their back and everything else. They're just there in the shelter. So we have to do a lot of assessing as to what the needs are. Immediately, what we are going to do on our end is immediately donate $1,000 right off the bat tomorrow. Right off the bat tomorrow, we're going to put that in place, and hopefully we could raise lots more thousands of dollars so that we could send those money directly to the people in need in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Now, this is going to take a big, massive effort. Everybody needs to be on board with this, right? Everybody got to be on board with this. So I just want to invite everyone tomorrow at 6 p.m. We're going to be doing a massive drive to aid the people. 100% of the funds go straight to helping the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. No administration fees. In fact, I said we're working with a number of organizations who on the ground that will be directly distributing those things into the shelters.
I would like to say that if there's a way that we can that people that we can find out, I know that everything is developing quickly, if that we can find direct items, because I was a part of a conversation, or I overheard a conversation this morning where, like Junior said, things like toys are really needed,
Clothing,
pads for women, body
diapers for the
wash,
babies.
deodorant, things like this, because you left your house with nothing and life still continues. Diapers, Pampers for children, skin cream, all of these things will be needed. So in thinking about and having this show today, think about the things that you know that you could get in abundance and put them together. And hopefully we'll have further information about how we can get it down there. So it's not only the cash money that counts, because you can get the cash money, but I don't know if there's enough products that you can buy the stuff. If there's ways that we can send the things from here, the body washes, the diapers, the tablets, the face masks, and all of these things. If we can get these things together and find out, a spot here in New York, in Brooklyn, and hopefully in Toronto, they'll be organizing something over there so that we can actually get real items down there somehow.
Yeah.
I just want to add, it's not only Pampers for children, there's also for adults. There are many who have to move with their grandparents and within the shelters, and these things are really sometimes needed. And I've gone through the experience. I know how it is with getting the adult Pampers.
Okay.
Right. We're gonna get it. When I see you itching to say something, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say, to be honest here, the cash money, you kind of question if it's like really important at the moment. Yeah, the money can go a lot further, I think, in the US and the UK.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. We're gonna buy the items. We're gonna purchase the money to buy the items and send those items down.
Yeah,
that's what we're gonna do.
You put it through someone that this is gonna go directly to one of the shelters. Absolutely. The dollar would definitely go further out there. What you might pay $2 for a bottle of skin lotion, you might end up paying $25-$30 here in St. Vincent.
Yeah, and I want think about this, guys, because Lewinsky just posted something. Lewinsky, aka, you guys know who it is. She just said something. How long does it actually take to ship to St. Vincent? So I think what also need to be put into place in the back of our heads is probably sourcing some of the stuff from Trinidad and neighboring islands so it gets them much quicker. Because it will take about 2.5 weeks from New York. 2.5 weeks, no water. I mean, this is going to be from horrible to terrible. So I think once we have the money, again, we're going to put some money up. We are appealing to other organizations and individuals to donate as little as $5, $2, whatever, what have you. And let's source these items. I mean, Ridealong has been doing this for a while. We work with this organization. We are trusted in terms of handling things like these. And we could reassure you that we are going to get those items on the ground in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, even if we have to source it from Trinidad or Barbados or Grenada. But at the end of the day, we have to spend money for it.
Yes.
Right?
There's probably stuff you can get here which you would still get good value for money. A bottle of water probably works out about $1.50 US or $2 US. So stuff like that. If there's a company you can, there's obviously there's a few here. If you can purchase the water directly and then they can ship it to the various shelters, that's probably an option because I mean like 2 weeks, yes, is a long time, but I think like water and stuff like that, sanitary stuff, they're like probably essential. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Stuff like skin lotion and stuff like that. The ashes fall in it anyway. So black people are problems. We're gonna have that ashy elbow.
Ashy
So
elbow.
we're used to it.
Yeah. Now I'm
So
I'm mostly
about the skin
about
lotion can wait.
the water situation, and
Yeah.
Mr. Latham, you and of course Wayne is on the ground there. How do you foresee the water situation getting within the next couple of days? Do you think that it will be resolved where they might be able to filter the dams, or you think that it doesn't look as if it's going to happen anytime soon?
Well, looking at the prediction regarding the eruption, water authority is still doing their testing, and they have to really look at the level of turbidity in the water, if they can be able to allow that to go through the pipe, because it will clog up the system. What they're doing now, they're rationing what they have already stored and already treated. So in the next few couple of days or week, the water situation can be very much dire for the water that we're going to consume. That's for using to flushing. They can able to get those into a tank, but the drinking water can be a problem. So that is something that we will hope that we could act on very quickly.
Yeah.
And the water situation is not in a way that you can boil it out. It's not that type of a situation. It's beyond that. So
it's beyond
boiling
that.
and
Way
trying
beyond.
those things is not going to work at this time.
Yeah.
So I have a question. Like,
Right, Lavinia?
Mr. Latham, so how long can this go on? Because like we know that since Friday there was like on the ground I've heard that there's like 5 to 6 explosions. My dad is actually in St. Vincent in the green zone, so there's 5 to 6 explosions on Friday. I'm not sure how many there was. I think yesterday there was more, and there's even more again today. So how long can this situation go on? Because just my preliminary research tells me that a volcano can explode for months, years. So like how much of this ashfall can we handle without it becoming a situation where everybody has to get off the island? I'm not trying to spread fear. I really want to know for myself, to be honest.
Well, the prediction we have been getting is weeks. It may go on for some weeks or so. We have been surprised so far that they were more or less expecting something more or less close to 79, but it have already beat 79 and the 1902 eruption. So the spread, the green zone, the amount of ash which is within the green zone is a lot more than expected. So we are more looking at coping around for the next close to 4 weeks, a month or so. That's what they're looking at currently.
Yeah, and they say green zone. There's no green zone no more. The green zone is probably in Antigua.
Guyana.
Yeah.
Guyana or somewhere.
Yeah.
That's the green zone. I want to read something here from Grenada, because while we were on, we got a message from the National Water and Sewage Authority in Grenada. As you guys know, that there have been sulfur that have been sprinkling down on the people in Grenada. There's so many different photos and videos that have been circulating with people in Grenada. Now, the National Water and Sewage Authority are the people who manage the water, as you could imagine, in Grenada. And they sent out this. The National Water and Sewage Authority, NAWASA, is assuring the general public that so far there have been no adverse impact detected in the country's raw water quality due to the presence of dust and ash. Now, here's a complicated issue, guys. Carriacou is right next to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Carriacou doesn't have a central dam system. Carriacou collect the water, like everybody have their little thing on their houses, and that's how they collect water. Now, this is going to even complicate situation worse, because They don't have a dam. Everybody have their own little thing. And if the sulfur goes in that, they don't have the technology to curate and all these different things. It goes in there, it damages the water. That water is not good, not drinkable, not cannot be consumed. So if it's essentially they would have to get rid of that. What position then it does put the people of Carriacou? Because they're in a
Not
very
only Carriacou. The Grenadines is a similar way.
Okay.
So Beckwith, Canawan, Union Island,
All of them.
all those they get in their water main sources from their house roof, right? That's the cistern, and they build their homes on their tank. So they would be greatly impacted. Some years ago, they have been supplying them with some areas with the black tanks, and also a desalination plant was set up in Myro and everything, but it's not widespread to cover the entire population. So what you were saying there, it also goes for those other islands in the Grenadines.
Yeah, and that is a major problem.
Yeah, Junior, as well. After the last 2 days, you know, I had promised, obviously, a lot of people that I won't be going back to Owe anytime soon. You know, but you know the other issue is there are still people in Owe. Off the top of my head, I can count about 10 who are still there, who chose to stay there. And it's just a matter of time of how long the water they collected is going to last them. Because, like I said, I drove to Orange Hill this morning, first thing, just after the dry river. And it's going to take weeks before they get to any area of Oya Fancy. The amount of debris that was on the ground.
And rocks too, I heard. Rocks. Boulders.
Man, listen. Yeah. I sent you a video on your WhatsApp. I'm not sure if you can upload it. I don't know how you do your videos.
Yeah, let me see if I can.
But as we were like heading back down after we handed I think it was about 15 people onto the Coast Guard. As we were, an explosion literally went off and like rocks, you know, fell into the boat and all that kind of stuff. So, man, So, you know, a lot of people are like upset with me right now because I went. Obviously, but yeah, it's gonna take a while, buddy. Honestly, just looking at the situation out there, even like getting water back online, because the water comes directly from the river. I think a bit of chlorine is added, and then it comes straight to your pipes. So with all this ash and everything else hanging around, who knows how long that's gonna take?
Yeah. So there's a lot of things to be concerned about, and this happened in the worst of the worst time. I was speaking about it, that if there could have been a worse situation, I don't think that there could have been, because here we have every country in the world right now is concerned about their own protocols and spending excess money to take care of themselves. Probably America could have said, here is $200 million to help you with your efforts. But all of this money is taken up with some kind of protocol of vaccination for their own. So nobody has anything. Everybody's just focusing on their own self. So how would St. Vincent and the Grenadines stay in the focal point of the world to get assistance? Because this is going to take billions of dollars of help. You know what I mean?
I think this is where we have to fall on the collective diaspora. This is not a St. Vincent problem. It's a Caribbean problem. It's a West Indian problem. It's a world problem. St. Vincent is a hot spot now. We need to take care of it. We need to take care of the people. They need gowns. They need masks. They need goggles to protect their eyes. They could probably do with a shield on their face too that has the foam at the top, so it protects from getting the ash down into their eyes. And then they need tents. Shelter is so important. A proper place to sleep. Right now, it's going back to the basics. You need food. You need shelter. You need water.
And you need safety.
Something to clean your skin. Hygiene. You need safety. I'm really feeling it for the people who are in the hospital or who are in the nursing home, or some of the people who may have their elderly parents who have dementia. This must be so confusing for them. So, you know, as a community, we need to come together. We need to put social, mental health at the forefront. We need to do what we can. So, you know, tomorrow, Junior, I'm looking forward to your fundraising. But at the same time, I'm going to be reaching out to the St. Vincent Consulate in Toronto to see what we can do. We need to get something organized so people who's in the diaspora all over the world can start contributing, and we can send something to let these people of St. Vincent know that we love them and we're going to take care of them.
Absolutely.
And every little bit helps. Like,
every little bit was going to help.
$5, you know, $1, $2, whatever. Like every little bit I think helps, because I think a lot of the times people feel like if they're not giving like $1,000, like, you know, the foundation is giving, the fundraiser is giving rather, that it's not really anything. But it's like there's a power and a cumulative effect. So I stand with you, Ms. Julian Latham. I think it's 100%. You're right. You know, every little bit helps, and we have to come together. And there's more people from St. Vincent, descendants of St. Vincent, living abroad than on the island itself. So, you know, all of us who went away to go to school, and you know, you're in your professions in the Americas or wherever you are. Now is the time to really give back, and to, you know, as much as we can jump on a plane and enjoy fetting and mass and having a good time, and you know, the beaches and stuff, and as much as we can enjoy the island when it's doing well, now's the time for us to really reach back and help.
I agree, 100%.
Absolutely.
Yes. I just want to make one more comment, because I know that we're gone over our 1 hour, but I just want to say that I want to thank Grenada and Barbados and St. Lucia and any of the other islands who have jumped in so quickly to assist. That support means a lot to the island. And I know that Mr. Gonzalez was on the radio this morning, and he was talking about, you know, different things coming in, or he was having conversations with different international countries and governments about ways in which they can assist. And, you know, the more that we can do as people and as people who are in the diaspora to help this situation, the better it is for St. Vincent. Because, you know, anytime you accept help from all of these neighboring countries, especially those with a lot of wealth, there's always some kind of, you know, payback. There's always an exchange of some sort. So you have to be very careful of these relationships that you get into. Yes, I know that now is probably not the time to be thinking about that, but whatever is given to you, there's always something that's supposed to be given back in return. So let's just see what we can do as a country to pull this together as a unit, and not rely solely on the government to solve all these problems, because the government already has its own challenges as it is already.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna go around and get some closing thoughts and wrap it up. Juliana?
Well, Wayne, I want to tell you to keep soldiering through this. We really appreciate everything that you're doing as a leader down there. Thank you so much for sharing this with us, your time with us. And also, Brad, thank you so much for sharing this time with us. It really gives a strong sense of urgency for what we need to do to try and help. So I just want to tell you that I appreciate everything that you're doing.
Yes.
Stay safe.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
I appreciate.
Yeah.
All right.
Closing thoughts, Lavinia?
Yeah, I want to, you know, say thank you to everybody on the ground, Mr. Latham, Wayne. You guys are doing the hard work, and we're supporting you from abroad. I'm here in Canada supporting you, behind you. We're Vincy strong. Vincy don't back down. So, you know,
right.
we have to, we're strong. This is impacting us. It's hard, it's difficult, but we're going to come back stronger and bigger and better than before. So everybody keep your hopes up, keep your prayers up, and let's persevere. We're resilient people. We're gonna beat this. I know we are.
Indeed. Love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Wayne, any last words from you?
Hey, I'm not sure if they do listen to the program. Like I said earlier, I do have quite a few friends living in both the UK and the US, And the minute I started my my efforts yesterday, they've been nothing but like want to jump straight in and help, and you know whether it's like sending credit with like mobile top up, which I've been sending out to people, because what you would find, a lot of families would have been separated through this ordeal. So stuff like that. Tomorrow, I've got a few friends who have sent a few dollars to me via MoneyGram, which I'm going to collect, and I'm going to start getting some water, and I go around the shelters and start distributing, because, like I said, I've seen it firsthand and on how it is in some of those shelters. So that's my plan for tomorrow. Go around and get some water out to the people who need it most.
Right. Wayne, we're gonna send some funds to you as well. After the fundraiser tomorrow, we will send some money to you to make sure that
there's Ashana giving me a telling now.
Ashana says, Wayne, don't go back rescuing, please. Just go and drop stuff in the shelters like you're doing. That's it. So you can go.
DJ Young.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Nicole, Gail, Cheryl, Pamela, Losi, Ashana. Thank you all for joining us this evening. If I left anybody out, we all love you. And tune in next week. We'll be back with the top 5 at 5.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Later.
Want to invite me in them, huh? I hope you can take it all inside you. Come back, look, go wind up all inside you. Come back, look, go lick all inside you. Come back, look, go union all inside you. Every time that I tell we put the thing inside properly, ain't nobody can do it better. Rated out to the sky we. Every show to the sky we. They will have to pay small fee. Even though me done move a long time, panty man they just call me. If you want to see how we just party, put me inside. If you want to see how we just make them gal go, put me inside. If you got to work, then just call leave. Put me inside. Better pray to God we don't make your gal go. Put me inside. My team we don't back down from nobody. Them Vincy don't back down from nobody. From panty to jumpies, everybody want to invite me in them, huh?
Hey, thank you for watching. Join us again next week.
Let's face it, this is not normal times, but life, it must go on. And with all these continued restrictions on get-togethers, you need a streaming company like Ridealong Media Group LLC, one that can stream to all your family members to the comfort of their own homes, both privately or publicly, you decide. One who understands your privacy, one who simply cares. So for that wedding, funeral, public or private event, choose the professional production company with the experience and quality guaranteed. Family can travel? Inquire about our seamless remote participant option. Thinking of streaming your virtual event? We handle it all. From multi-camera video production to streaming, post-production, editing, and more via Zoom, YouTube, Facebook, or any platform required. Call us and speak to our experienced professional team. 212-809-4324. That's 212-809-4324. Ridealong Media Group LLC. We're here when you need us.
Are you fed up of your mask or your foggy face shield? Introducing the Fashion Shield from callallpronow.com. Keep your hairdo intact, your makeup flawless, and be fully protected. Get the Fashion Shield now. Call 516-387-4246 or visit callallpronow.com.
Don't from nobody. Them Vincy don't back down from nobody. From panty to jumpies, everybody want to invite me in them, huh? I hope you can take it all inside you. Come back, look, go wind up all inside you. Come back, look, go lick all inside you. Come back, look, go union all inside you. To the studio in Barley, you and I started, and the game was never the same the day I pop up inside it. Me and Jay we still rolling, still picking party from morning. Forgive me if I go off topic, let me get back on topic. If you wanna see how we just party, put me inside. If you wanna see how we just met them gal go, put me inside. If you got to work, then just call it, put me inside. Better pray to God we don't make your gal go, put me inside. My team we don't back down from nobody. Them things we don't back down from nobody. From party to drop is everybody. Want to invite me in them, huh? I hope you can take it all inside you. Come take look wine up all inside you. Come take look liquor all inside.